Think your Monday is rough? Another pointless meeting, another overflowing inbox, maybe the boss is driving you nuts. But what if your job involved being chained to your workstation, wading through human waste, or a life expectancy so short it was basically a death sentence? Before you complain about your 9 to 5, let's count down the absolute worst jobs in ancient Rome. Trust me, you'll start appreciating that office chair. Kicking things off at number 5 is the fuller, Rome's version of a dry cleaner. That sounds harmless enough, right? Well, the secret to getting a senator's toga brilliantly white was to soak it in a vat of aged human urine. The ammonia was a fantastic bleaching agent. Workers, usually slaves, had to stand in these vats for hours, stomping on the clothes to work the mixture in. Just imagine spending your day barefoot in a tub of other people's filth, with the stench filling the air and caustic chemicals burning your skin. Next up, a job that might surprise you: the gladiator. We picture them as the rock stars of the ancient world, but the reality was far grimmer. While a few became famous, most were slaves, prisoners of war, or criminals forced to fight. Their lives were a commodity, and they were social outcasts, segregated even in death. They got medical care and a special diet, sure, but that was mostly just to protect an owner's expensive investment. And while not every fight was to the death, the mortality rate was high, with a professional's fate often resting on the whim of a cheering crowd. It was a life of brutal discipline, under the constant threat of a violent end for entertainment. Forget what you've seen in the movies. The idea of most Roman galley rowers being chained to their oars is largely a myth. In the Roman Navy, rowing was a skilled job, often performed by paid freemen. However, when Rome was desperate for manpower, it would press prisoners of war and slaves into service. For these men, chained or not, the conditions were horrific. The rowing decks were cramped, suffocatingly hot, and filled with the sounds of the whip. In the terror of a naval battle, your only motivation was to row for your life, because if the ship went down, you were going down with it. For our number 2 spot, we're going underground, into the guts of Rome itself, with the sewer cleaner, or canaliculi. Rome's great sewer, the Cloaca Maxima, was an engineering marvel, but somebody had to maintain it. That duty fell to slaves and prisoners who had to crawl through the dark, disgusting tunnels to clear sludge and blockages. It was a job packed with dangers. Noxious fumes from decomposing waste could suffocate workers. Tunnels could collapse, and the risk of disease was overwhelming. It was a dark, filthy, and incredibly dangerous life hidden beneath the bustling streets of the capital. And now, the absolute worst job in ancient Rome: the miner. Being sent to the mines was widely considered a slow, agonizing death sentence. The vast majority of miners were slaves or criminals, condemned to a life of unbelievable hardship. They worked in near darkness, breathing in toxic dust and fumes from lead or mercury that caused crippling diseases. The work was done with basic tools, and death could come at any second from a tunnel collapse or a sudden flood. Conditions were so horrific that being sold to the mines was seen as equivalent to being sentenced to death in the arena. The Roman world was built on the backs of people suffering in these horrific conditions. From the filth of the fuller's vat to the suffocating darkness of the mines, these jobs reveal a side of history we often ignore. Which job on this list do you think was the absolute worst? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this glimpse into the ancient world fascinating, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories from history. So next time you're having a bad day at work, just remember the Roman sewer cleaner. For countless people, the daily grind wasn't about spreadsheets and deadlines, but about surviving filth, danger, and degradation. Roman civilization was grand, but it's a chilling reminder that its foundations were built on a level of human suffering we can barely comprehend today. Thanks for watching.